What's up, Average Dad fans? Welcome back to another video. And today, I want to give you my thoughts on the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold. But I'm going to do it with the 5 best points and the 5 worst points of this phone, in my opinion. Let's go! Now, before I talk about the 5 best and 5 worst things, I just want to let you know that this video was almost inspired by this make what you will of it comment from Max1348 or whatever that username is. Ultimately saying that the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is a failure. Well, Max, this video is basically for you and anyone else that feels that the Pixel Fold is a failure. So I want to start by saying, Max, you're wrong. Google should be judged on their own phones. And this, compared to the original Pixel Fold, is a massive upgrade in many different areas that I'll cover in my best points. Now, this is a balanced video, so I've got 5 worst points as well. Some of them kind of cover both areas. So without further ado, the first thing I want to talk about is the overall design and form factor. I love this design, but anyone that watches my channel, or if you watch any review channel, you should be aware that design is always subjective. It's based on your opinion. Some people love the look of the Honor Magic V3, the OnePlus Open, and that's okay. I also love the look of them, but I love the look of this. The aluminium frame, the porcelain colourway, prefer that to obsidian, I have to say. I like what they've done with the camera bump as well. It blends in really nice. It's not too big and loud and in your face. And overall, build quality and heft is top notch. The original Pixel Fold done something perfectly. It was like 280 grams, but it felt premium. This is 257 grams, which, again, Max, you said it's kind of randomly, you just put a comment, you said heavier and bigger, and you didn't actually compare it to anything, so I've done it for you. This is 257 grams. The Samsung Z Fold 6 is 239 grams. So you're right, this is heavier than that phone and the OnePlus Open by about 10 grams. But it's 30 grams lighter than the Pixel Fold original, or 20 grams lighter. That in itself constitutes a success for Google, not a failure. I then want to talk about software. I am now very close to calling the stock Google Pixel software the best on the planet. And I know that might shock a few people because you all know I love One UI and most of you love One UI. But I'm kind of done now. I'm kind of needing more from Samsung, like their hardware. I want to see something more. And for me, the Pixel, the software, the stock colors and images, and I'll talk about AI as one of the good points later, but overall software experience, the seamless interaction between other devices when set up their phone, when you're using Bluetooth and NFC, everything's just seamless on this device, and I love it. And the next thing I really like about the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is what Google offer in support. 7 years of Android updates. Keeping in mind this starts at Android 15. I know technically it doesn't, but when it's released, that's like year 1. So you're going to get up to Android 22. I might be wrong, it might just be Android 21. But either way, it's 7 years of support. That's more than most manufacturers will offer, and that's a real positive because this foldable device, if you look after it, keeping in mind it's also IPX8 water resistant, one of the only foldable phones to have that. Again, a major upgrade compared to the original Pixel Fold, so a success for Google. If you look after this, you might get the full 7 years out of it if you really want to. And then a bit of a contentious one, I'll cover this in the bad points, so please stay tuned because I will highlight the potential bad points that contradict some of what I'm saying, but it'll all make sense in the end. The screens. The screens on this device are a massive upgrade, not just to the Pixel Fold original, but to almost every other global release foldable phone. The Samsung, what is it, like 2600 nits? Well, this will go 2700 nits, both on the inner and outer screen. It's the brightest display on any Pixel device ever, brighter than any Samsung device. So for that, again, hats off. And it's sharp, it's clear. And I just want to touch on as well, because we're going to talk about the outer screen bezels, the inner screen, including the bezels, absolutely top tier flagship. And people are saying that this is such a deep crease. No, it's not. It's, if anything, in my opinion, it's better than the Samsung Z Fold 6, which is the highest selling foldable phone in the UK just now. So, yeah, that nonsense. I won't have you bash Google for just the sake of bashing them, and that's what sometimes it feels like with people in the comments, for whatever reason, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But take it from someone that has reviewed every foldable phone. This is not a deep crease. The original Pixel was a deep crease. It was actually quite disgraceful. So again, and you'll see the theme here with the good points, this is a success for Google because it's an upgrade to their previous version. And I want to reiterate, that's all that we can base their failure or success on. And the final good point I have to bring up is the buzzword of 2024, artificial intelligence, AI. Gemini AI on this thing and my Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, it's actually amazing. Like, summarizing web pages, creating images for me, having like almost proper conversations and debates about stats and populations of countries. Long story, no point going into it. But yeah, Gemini's actually been useful. And the Screenshots app and the Pixel Studio, while they don't get used every day, it's really nice to have them on board. And then all of the photo tools like AdMe and Magic Eraser and all the other bits and bobs you can do, and reimagine and enhanced zoom. Look, listen, I don't use these every day. Heck, I've not used them yet on this phone, but they all exist. And for some people, that's a big bonus. So again, over every other device, this has the best software and best AI that's actually useful, in my opinion. So that's the 5 good points that highlight 5 areas of improvement over the Google Pixel original, which therefore highlight a success. But I do need to talk about the bad points because I am the average dad and I will always be honest. I talked about the screens being brighter, sharper, and better compared to the original Pixel, in my opinion. What I have to say is the bezels on the outer screen, a lot of people are over-exaggerating. They're not that bad, as you can see here. They're not horrific, but they could be better. They are better on even the Samsung and the OnePlus Open, which is this phone's direct competition. So for me, it does fall into the bad category. Absolutely. Unfortunately, another thing you'll notice I've not talked about in good is the cameras. And while this in turn doesn't automatically make the cameras bad, because they're not bad, the actual output is really good. But that's based on processing, not hardware. The main lens is a 1/2" sensor. Keep in mind that the Vivo X Fold 3 Pro is a 1/1.1". It's almost a 1" type sensor on that. And folks, while in normal daylight conditions, you're going to struggle to notice the difference because of the processing power of this Pixel. As soon as that sun says bye-bye for the evening and darkness ascends, this phone is going to get crushed by the Vivo, by the Honor, by the OnePlus, by basically every other phone, because that 1/2" sensor is not good enough. The 10.8 8 megapixel 5 times optical zoom lens. Yeah, that's not quite going to cut it in terms of megapixels and sensor size. Again, if I compare this to the Vivo X Fold 3 Pro, the best foldable camera setup in history, it's on a different level. It's in another planet and universe. This phone cannot compete. It is going to give you good photos though, folks, and the video is going to be stable and good in 4K, 60 frames per second, but it has to fall under the bad category, mainly because they could have just taken a camera setup from my Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, and then it would have fallen under good again, because the cameras on that are much better. So, that's cameras and the bezels. And then the third bad point about this phone is something that I would like to think you're never going to hear anybody praise. You'll notice even I didn't mention it in my upgrades. It's the chip. The Tensor G4 chip is an upgrade to the original Pixel, which came with the Tensor G2 chip. Absolutely, it's an upgrade on that. But compared to every other flagship foldable phone with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, the Tensor's like 2 years behind. And that's just not good enough. Google are trying to do what Apple do and create their own silicon chip in-house from an efficiency and a cost-effective point of view. And that's fine for them. But for us, the end consumer, if you are any form of medium to hardcore gamer, you can't use the Pixel. There's another reason you probably won't want to use the Pixel either, and we'll talk about that next. And that takes us on to the penultimate bad point, and I've kind of alluded to it already. It's battery, and it's battery as a whole. It's not just charging and charging speeds and wireless charging. It's the capacity. But for context, people are saying, Max, you're here, you mentioned battery and charging. The Samsung Z Fold 6 has a 4400 milliamp hour battery. This has a 4650 milliamp hour battery. Quick maths, what's that? Like 5%, 6% bigger? This only charges at 21 watts wired, which compared to any other foldable phone, apart from the Samsung, which charges at 25 watts wired, it's not good enough. 21 watts is disgraceful. Most, in fact, I want to say all Chinese phones with wireless charging on deck charge at over double that speed, wirelessly. So 21 watts wired it's a joke. And then wireless, 7.5 watts. Really? I mean, what? Most phones with wireless charging charge reverse wired quicker than this charges normal wireless. So yeah, absolutely, Pixel could do a lot better when it comes to charging speeds, wireless charging, battery capacity. But it's kind of in line with the Samsung Z Fold 6, the most popular foldable phone in the UK. And if you charge your phone overnight, every night, you're going to be fine. I end the day with still like 35, 40% battery. So it's not like you're going to die or kill it every day unless you're a gamer. But if you're a gamer, do not buy this phone. That would be my main takeaway. If you're a gamer looking for a big screen to game on, go down the Chinese phone route. Buy the Vivo, buy the Honor Magic V3. The Tensor's not for you. And then the final thing, the worst point, because it affects everyone. Price. £1,750 for 256 gigabytes of storage with a phone with all the bad points I've just mentioned. It's not good enough. Again, if we're comparing it with the Samsung, it's cheaper than that, and it's a far better phone, in my opinion, than the Samsung Z Fold 6. So Pixel, again, are a success in that manner, but really, when you know that you can get the Honor Magic V3 Global for £1,270, including shipping from the Average Dad Tech store, or you can go direct to Honor and it's £1,700 brand new, but they've got like a £300 off voucher. They'll throw in the magic pen. They'll throw in a plug, which is a big deal because Google don't give you a plug. Samsung don't give you a plug. If you're looking for a global version, if it has to be global, broaden your horizons past Samsung, Google, and OnePlus. Trust me. If you look at the Vivo, if you look at the Honor, you'll be blown away by hardware specifications that are far better. So there we have it. The good points, the bad points. I've tried to mention as many as I can. I've been as honest as I always am. I'm not biased towards this. I don't stock this in the store, but I can tell you that I love this device. I can tell you that if you've ordered it and you've not received it yet, you should be excited. This is fantastic. Even with those bad points, the camera gets away with being poorer because of the software. The bezels on the outer screen, you don't notice after using it for like a second. The battery, as long as you're charging it every night, it's absolutely fine. And then even the price, well, if you've already paid it, it's in the past. As Rafiki would say, it's all in the past. So that's been that. The good points, the bad points. I will continue to use this with my SIM card, and I will drop the full review at some point in the next week or so. I still have to drop the full review of the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Just want to end by saying that Google, bravo. You have improved your devices this year considerably. Blanket statement, but they have. So well done, Google. That's all we can ask for. As tech enthusiasts, we just want to see that we're getting better products for our money. And Google have ticked that box. And if you haven't already, smash subscribe. We are probably at this point past the 30,000 subscriber mark, which is amazing. But I ain't stopping there. I want to get to 50, then 100, then 1,000,000. So you can help with that. Smash subscribe. And until next time,